that, let me introduce the candidates for Rogers County Sheriff. Cole Butler joined the Tulsa Police Department in 1981, where he continues to serve as a field officer and senior crisis negotiator with the SWAT team. He moved to Rogers County in 1983, and he and his wife Debbie make their home in the Foyle area, where they raised their 4 children. They have 2 grandchildren, and another one due in August. Scott Walton, who grew up in Rogers County, graduated from Claremore High School, Claremore Junior College, and Northeastern State University, has served 27 years with the Tulsa Police Department and become Rogers County Sheriff in 2008. Walton serves on a number of boards and is a member of the Hebrews Mennonite Church. Scott and Rosalie have been married 33 years and have 2 sons and 3 grandchildren. Well, the winner of the coin toss was Scott, and he has given the rights over to Mr. Cole Butler to open up with opening statements. Cole?
Since we're all Okies here, I'm gonna start this off this way. We got 2 horses in this race, and you're looking at both of them. One thing that's very important is we are very, very different. We have had different careers with the police department. We talk to people differently. We think differently, and we certainly campaign differently. What I would like to ask you to do, and I know you've been sitting here for a while tonight, what I would like to ask you to do tonight is pay very close attention to the answers that we give and the substance of those answers. This is a very serious election. I can tell you law enforcement throughout the state is paying attention to this sheriff's election. So pay very close attention. Please try to base your decisions on what you hear, the substance and the content of our answers. Huge responsibility is upon your shoulders in this sheriff's race.
Okay,
I agree with the part that listen close to the answers. I started the office 3.5 years ago, and I want to talk about proven performance and what we've done in the last 3.5 years. Sheriff Fraser handed over the keys and told me, he said, you got your hands full, there's a lot that needs to be done. The county's growing a lot, and law enforcement that we're providing right now is struggling to keep up, and that was an understatement. Our immediate focus was on a restructuring of the Sheriff's Department and a focus on career criminals. It was proven time and time again in Tulsa and smaller agencies and larger agencies that when we stay focused on career criminals, better things happen, better quality of life. Bad guys are in jail and good people are out enjoying what they have deserved, and that's good quality of life. We completed the largest drug roundup in Rogers County history, which was January of 2011. We've gotten 2 police departments, city government there, made arrests, and then right on down the road to Chelsea and arrested the police chief. So all of this stuff was not easy work to do. It's been met with a challenge.
All right, first question. We'll go to Mr. Butler. Cole, Scott won the coin toss, and he will receive the first question. Mr. Butler, what is your position on open carry, and how do you think it will impact law enforcement in Rogers County?
What my position on open carry, first thing that comes to my mind is it doesn't matter what my opinion is on open carries. What does the Constitution say about open carry? We can, meet somewhere and talk about opinions and thoughts and what we think about it. We've got to look at what the Constitution says about open carry. If we believe that the Second Amendment says that we have a right to keep and bear arms, then we must understand that we apply that right to keep and bear arms. It's been said that could be some sort of extra danger, maybe some excitement, tactical loss of tactical advantage in open carry. What I'm saying is sometimes it can be scary to be a police officer. After 31 years, you deal with that. After 31 years, I approach every person as if they are armed, and that way you're not surprised if the person is armed. I think people will be surprised when this law goes into effect at how few people actually do open carry. It's kind of a pain to carry a weapon. It really is. After a while, they'll be excited about it at first, perhaps, but I think the people of Oklahoma will be pleasantly surprised with the outcome of this. The Second Amendment in the Constitution is what we need to focus on.
I agree with the part that it's a Second Amendment right. It goes further than that. We deal with hands-on, not just law enforcement dealing with armed people that are not supposed to be armed, and I'm talking about that. We've had little or no problems, I'd say closer to no problems, with concealed carry. Conversations I've had, all of those with people that are gun advocates were much more in favor of the concealed carry the way it was. Needless to say, we'll deal with it.
Okay. And you have the 30 seconds for summary.
Not all law enforcement agrees with what I just said. But had a wrestling match in the squad meeting a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about it. But that's okay. That's where I stand. I stand on the Second Amendment and the Constitution.
Okay. Next question goes to Mr. Walton. And the question is, there are 700 square miles of Sheriff's Department cover and growing population of Rogers County with less than 20 deputies. How would you maximize the resource to ensure appropriate protection and response times in order to meet the needs of the county?
We've done it the very, very best we can, and we've increased that since I've been in office. Mobile technology would be the best way that we could. I would love to go to a quadrant type system with 4 officers, and we can visualize this real quickly by saying if all the calls in the north part of the county, and often it gets to be where your force is all pulled in one direction, where there's a mental health patient that needs to be transported or whatever. You don't always, that's just perfect when you have all 4 of them out there. You don't always have 4. So mobile technology would be the first step in a great battle to keep people closer to a quadrant. But there again, that works great in theory until you get your first call or your second call. And then from there on, it's just put the fires out as fast as you can. But we need a better fleet of cars and more manpower on the ground in order to adequately save and to preserve what we have here at quality of life in Rogers County.
30 seconds.
Well, one reason why there's 20 deputies in Rogers County is because they're top heavy. A lot of supervisors could be stripped down. The very bare minimum, put more deputies on the street, and I'll have more to say about that during the meeting.
Okay. You want to summarize?
Supervisors are working supervisor, patrol supervisor takes as many or more calls than any of the field troops.
Okay. Next question goes to Mr. Butler. Cole, this is the question about the county-wide E911 center. Designed to streamline and facilitate communications and emergency response throughout the county. Do you support the plan E911 center? If so, why? And if not, why?
Well, yeah. I think it's a necessary situation that is overdue. I do know in Tulsa, I answer a lot of 911 calls, and the reality is a lot of them are kids playing on the phone. Very small percentage, comparatively, are people truly in need, but they are people truly in need, so we have to have this. It's well worth it. It's something that certainly probably should have been done already. In Rogers County, we are moving forward. We've got a lot of good leadership here, and we need to pool that, and we just need to jump on board, move into the future with this stuff. It's very necessary.
As far as the 911 center, I don't know if anybody could disagree with it. As far as it'll be a great day in law enforcement, emergency response of all types, when one phone call to one location will dispatch police, fire, ambulance to whatever need is there, and circumvents the system that we have now where it's a volley of the call being routed or transferred to different agencies. I wish we were further along on the construction of the building at this time. And I do have concerns since the size of the building has increased that money will be available to adequately equip it.
30 seconds summary. No? All right. Next question goes to Mr. Walton. Scott, what innovative programs would you develop to reduce the recidivism rate in Rogers County?
Recidivism rate is opposed to?
Crime, the criminal rate that we've got now.
Okay, one of those, and I'll bring that back to the focus on career criminals, is, I mean, when I'm not saying we can rehabilitate that guy, but when we identify the people that wake up every morning in Rogers County with a mission to victimize somebody, and it's not hard to identify those people and have our focus on putting those people in jail, we in turn stop repeat crimes. It's easy to see when all of a sudden we had a bunch of burglaries in one given area and they all stop all of a sudden. We start looking at who's in our jail, and then we start going through jail phone conversations to find out who is doing it. We've got very few. I mean, if you look at it, and even if you go to Tulsa and look at those same numbers, you'll see there's still the percentage of the small percentage of the population victimizes the other half, the other largest part.
That is a difficult question. Jail, there's two thoughts about jail. Is it kind of a conversion type thing to break them from criminal habits, or is it punishment? I tend to lean toward the fact that it is punishment. It gets them off the street. However, when you bring in a ministry type situation, because I'll tell you this, and I stand on this, this is a hard issue. We're dealing with a hard issue. Crime is a hard issue. And I think ministries in the jail is a good thing. I think attacking the crime instead of looking the other way is essential as well.
Certainly, I don't think that I've had a look away day in my life as far as I hope I'm described as aggressive toward any type of infractions of the law. Or I do put faith in the fact that there needs to be a jail ministry, and we've strengthened that tremendously with the introduction of Oklahoma Jail and Prison Ministries being a part of our jail ministries. The resources, the law library, everything that is needed to be provided to our inmates is provided. I'll add this, we're feeding for 67 cents a day, and our jail is a clean, efficient run machine.
Okay. All right, the next question actually comes from Mr. Butler to Mr. Walton.
You've made it no secret that you blame the commissioners for not funding you with enough money to run the office in what you consider is a proper way. Saying you don't have enough money to put people in the field, you don't have enough money to transport, you don't have enough money for people in the courtroom, for courtroom security. Keeping that in mind, can you explain to me and the other taxpayers here in Rogers County why you hired a personal assistant for $35,616 of our tax dollars?
My personal assistant was a replacement of Joan Roberts. There is no such position. If we look line item on our positions, that position doesn't exist. She does the same job that Joan Roberts was doing when I started the office, that Susie Jones took over when Joan retired, and now Noel Crow is in that same position. I have no personal assistant. We work, we do our job, we divide all these little clerical duties. I could use another one. I could use two more in there to spread that load up. So I don't have a personal assistant. I handle my own phone calls. I make probably 50 or 60 of them a day.
Thank you for this work.
All right, the next question is, comes from Mr. Walton to
Mr. Butler, in 31 years plus with the Tulsa Police Department, you've never had a leadership role, a manager's role, a supervisor's role, or been in charge of any part of that agency. 88,000 people live in Rogers County. There's 76 employees and a multi-million-dollar budget. What do you plan to do, and how have you prepared yourself for that?
I'll remind you that you left the department as an officer as well. I have chosen to stay an officer in 31 years with the TPD. Thousands upon thousands of calls that I've taken. Every one of those calls is a management experience. And I'll tell you what I think management is. Excuse me, management comes from here. There's a difference between supervision and management. Supervision is very mechanical. Management comes from the heart. I have chosen not to promote purposely in my 31 years with the Tulsa Police Department, because when you promote in Tulsa, You get farther and farther away from the people you serve. This is about the people. The sheriff's position is about the people. It is a tremendous responsibility on the sheriff's shoulders. And I'm telling you what, from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing from other parts of the country, there's a tremendous weight going to be coming down on the shoulders of the sheriff. We need somebody who is prepared. We need somebody who cares about people. And we need somebody in office that is taking this responsibility very seriously.
Seriously, and even as far as a career path, you said it first, Cole. I mean, our deal is, I mean, it's black and white. We're polar opposites. And I think I would describe your career with the Tulsa Police Department as very passive. I see no place in a leadership role for a passive sheriff. Aggressive is not to be misunderstood as heavy-handed or somebody who wants to go out here and put knots on everybody's head in the community, but aggressive is taking a proactive fight to the thugs and people that victimize good people.
Okay. Next question will be to Mr. Butler. And the question is, what do you think the greatest challenge or threats are to public safety in Rogers County, and how do you propose to address it?
In our county, the greatest need regarding public safety, we have got to get, as a sheriff's office and as the deputies who serve the people of Rogers County, we have to get in touch with those people. One thing that can happen when someone takes a responsibility is in law enforcement is they can get what's called the big badge syndrome. What happens is they view law enforcement and the public as separate. I'm law enforcement and you're not. I'm law enforcement and you are here for me. It should not work that way. I'm telling you, from what I've been hearing since 2006, we have an issue here in Rogers County. And we have an issue with some of the deputies that are in Rogers County. I've heard it over and over again, which means there are some deputies in Rogers County who are hardworking, honest deputies that are doing the job in a proper way and serving the public. Public safety starts with law enforcement itself, and there are changes that must be made, and I have taken this responsibility upon my shoulders, and I will make those changes for the benefit of the people.
Okay, in Tulsa and the Crime Commission, we had a little model of a triangle right there that showed business, citizens, and law enforcement working together. That triangle, I think, is just a perfect model as far as how the world should work and can work. When we get outside that model of the good people, I have to take it as an adversarial role, because I believe it is us against them when we're talking about career criminals, and a focus on the people, again, those that victimize good people that want to get up and work.
Yeah. The us against them is not us against the bad people or the bad people, the criminals of Rogers County. It's the us against the people that are supposed to be being served with proper respect and dignity in the county.
Okay. Thank you. And the final question goes to Mr. Walton. And it is about budgeting and budget. There are a number of priorities that you have to deal with in enforcement with the budget. What would be your priorities this coming budget year, and how will you manage that?
First priority would certainly be for additional staff. That comes with equipment. Our fleet is well in excess of 100,000 miles. The newest police car we have is a 2009 model to address funding questions or whatever. Mobile technology will let us more efficiently. When you drive by the sheriff's department and see 5 or 6 police cars sitting around there, and I'm only telling you that I only have 4 out here in the field. 4 of those guys are on duty. Some of them may be in Wagner Home, mental health patients, but the rest of those guys are in there on a day off or 3 or 4 hours after they should have got off of work, typing on desktop computers, doing the reports in an effort to get those to the DA's office in a timely way. They'd a lot rather do those remotely from laptop computers in the car, and with mobile technology, we'll be able to do that.
It seems like when this comes about, then things will happen. When this comes about, then things will happen. The issue here, the big issue here, is not utilizing what is presently there. I will not complain about what I don't have. I will never complain about what I don't have. Leaders don't complain about what they don't have. Leaders make the best possible use of what they do have.
I will continue to complain about what we don't have in the way of budget and staff levels and what we're able to serve. Anybody that thinks you can serve 88,000 people with 4 deputies on patrol, that's 1 for 22,000, is absolutely insane. And to say that we're making excuses or anything is another absurd remark, because we hit the ground running, put more people in jail. We're doing it right now. I'm telling you what we need to provide quality life in Rogers County. And it's not sitting there and waiting until maybe we can get another deputy someday.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. And we have to go next is the final statements and the closing statements. Scott won the, Mr. Walton won the coin toss, and Mr. Butler actually will be going first on closing statements.
I am the senior crisis negotiator with the Tulsa SWAT team, 19 years. I do a lot of teaching. I've studied a lot of mental health issues. And I'm certainly not a doctor, but I can tell you what, I don't consider myself insane. When we started this, my opening statement, I spoke about there were 2 horses in this race. From what I've been told, since we're here in Oklahoma, there are 2 types of horses. There are show horses and there are work horses. Show horses don't work and work horses don't show. I just got my annual evaluation back from my sergeant, and with 31 years on the police department, I got an exemplary rating. That is the top rating with 31 years. I am not looking at this as any sort of retirement job. I am looking forward to getting in office and working for the people of Rogers County.
Okay. And your closing statement?
My closing statement would be to continue the Rogers County Sheriff's Department in a positive way. We came in at a time where Rogers County experienced 10 years of growth that it may never see again. Our women's population in the jail equals what today would equal what our entire jail population was equal to in the year 2000 when the new jail was built. My push will be to build the Sheriff's Department up where it can meet the needs of what is close to industry standards. We're so far behind what industry standards is at this time. Tulsa County Sheriff's Department serves a less population. Rogers County Sheriff's Department serves the largest population of any of the 77 counties. Tulsa Sheriff's Department is serving their rural population of what exists outside of those big municipalities, with more than double the deputies. There are 10 on duty and a supervisor. We're doing that with 4 for the mental health transports. I think we're doing a great job. We've got 4 investigators who work every case that's generated out of Rogers County Sheriff's Office.
Great. Well, thank you very much. That's all the time we have for this evening, and we ask that you give our candidates a round of applause.